Corporate America is always focused on policies out of Washington, and no more so than now. But for the fast food industry, the unanswered questions are starting to pile up. Sara Eisen talked to one of the biggest players in fast food, the CEO of Yum Brands.
The fast food industry has seen slow progress on the policy front. The failure to repeal and replace Obamacare in the House, denting some franchises' hopes to mitigate health care costs for employees. Andy Puzder, the former CEO of CKE Restaurants, parent company of Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, no longer in contention to be the labor secretary. And there have been recent executive orders cracking down on immigration, threatening one of the biggest industries that employ immigrant labor. But Greg Creed, the CEO of Yum Brands, parent company of Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC, is optimistic, particularly about the prospects for tax reform.
A lower tax rate I do believe would increase investment from people, and because remember, our corporate tax rate is low, but our franchisees live in an individual country, so our US franchisees would have probably a higher tax rate than we have. So I think lowering the tax rate, particularly as we move to being a more franchised business, would be a good thing for our industry.
And if we get personal tax cuts, I would think that would be helpful for your consumers.
Absolutely. If we could deliver tax cuts to the middle income in the US and below, that people will spend money.
Creed is also hopeful that deregulation will go a long way toward helping the restaurant industry.
We just need to make it simple. You just can't have differing standards, when the federal government has one and the state government has another and the local authorities have another. It just makes it particularly difficult. And in our case, it's our franchisees who are doing most of the investing in the US, and regulations can just, drives them insane and drives them away from investment.
There's also hope that the spike in consumer sentiment after the election will translate into higher spending. Creed describes the U.S. consumer as still value-oriented. So, despite some possible early setbacks on a policy front, the fast food industry still has a lot of room for improvement and hopes of a bump in business from Washington. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Sara Eisen outside Jacksonville, Florida.